All right, well, welcome everyone. It's our monthly free Zoom call. I just actually got up at 4:40 this morning and was hit the road and came all the way to the Southern California for a week since it's a spring break for the kids, and combining also my commitments that I have to monthly Zoom meetings, which is very exciting. What we're going to be covering today, gonna talk about the astrology very briefly, and definitely give you the updates for upcoming kind of good juicy days for April and May. Our next Feng Shui Zoom Connect is on May 5th. So from now on, every 5th of the month, I will be conducting the meetings. Okay, which do I open this file? Yeah. So yes,
it seems like it's a Google Doc.
is it Google Doc, really?
Is it? I don't know. Let me just. It's April 5th key Feng Shui Connect. I'm trying to see if I can just.
Even if it's PDF, it's fine too. It's okay too. I'll see. It's kind of a bummer. I thought
Here,
it's
I got it.
all right. And do I set you to, do I need to?
I'm trying to download it. It says download. And then it wants to know, okay, I'm going to open it.
Make you a host.
And it wants to know what I open this up with.
Either whatever you can do, PowerPoint or Keynotes or PDF.
Okay, because I think you might have to wing it. Just wing it. I'll figure it out.
All right. So for those who have usually the tendency to write down the dates, I know it's going to be on a PDF, but if you are concerned about the dates, I'm going to give you a few days that you absolutely, I would suggest you want to avoid for any a strong decision making, and that will be the April the 8th. That's just Thursday. April the 20th. Those are really days to nurture. So anything that's already goes with the momentum, you can maintain your activities, like your commitments with the school or work. But if you can avoid like banking or, paying the bills or signing contracts, I would highly recommend if you could hold off, unless you absolutely have to, then use it. But for contract signing or moving or groundbreaking or blessing or grand opening, please be considered. The same, there's 3 days in May that I want you also to be mindful. And those are Sunday, May the 2nd, May 15th, which is Saturday, and Thursday the 27th. Those are great days to do for your own self cultivation activities, more like a quiet, more download, easy days. So nothing to push, nothing aggressive. How can you correlate to those days not to be aggressive? Just think about when we plant the seeds, when we are, let's say we all are farmers and we have planted the seeds and the seeds are just about to sprout. And as you know, as a gentleness and as the essence of how to be gentle and not aggressive, because you can really harm kind of almost the end of the harvest. If you break the sprout, nothing is gonna bring to fruition. So those days in April and May, be mindful. Again, April 8th, April 20th, May 2nd, May 15th, and May 27th. The optimal days, there will be a list. There's way more I would say good days, lucky days, but especially super, super juicy days that are coming up in April are Friday the 9th, Saturday the 17th. Those are super optimal days. 22nd and 23rd of April, 29th of April and the 30th, as well as in May, if I have to choose for some major activities, like, really bringing the optimum luck, would be May 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, as well as the 12th, as well as the 24th, 25th, and then the end of the May, 28th to 31st. So if you have any sort of the planning in advance, go ahead, feel free. Those are optimal good days. And always, you can also text me or email me, or you can connect on my website. You can message me if you have any particular decision making, like moving the house or doing the blessing ceremony. Please feel free. I'll be, especially if you're an existing client, I'll be always able to assist. So yeah, how is it going? Is it going good? Okay. No? Okay. Okay. I still cannot share the screen. Well, then what can I do? I can't do much.
It's too big of a file. The person's house that you're staying at, or your husband's computer, if you shoot it to them, husband will be more tech savvy than me.
Yeah, he's in a meeting. That's okay. Don't worry about that. How about that? I'm gonna send you, I'm gonna make that file available, and let's just talk about it. I'll open it for myself. I will follow the screen. And what I was going to talk about today primarily was a reminder about, in addition to astrology, you will have in the file, you're gonna have kind of a summary for 12 animal signs, the qualities, and for this upcoming year. And just a quick reminder, if you are born in a rat hour or rat year, so this particular year is still good to have a retrospect, go back to your old friends, cultivate your relationships, team up. That's the way to go. If you are born in a year of ox or hour of ox, an hour of ox is between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. So this is the kind of go forward, hardworking year. It's hardworking for everybody, but if you stay persistent, stable, consistent, so having the optimal choice of diversifying your strong yes and strong no. Be mindful what you have a commitment to and when you also have an opportunity to say no. So if you're a tiger year or tiger hour, then tiger hour between 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., you make sure you have, you're preparing for 2022. That's the most important thing, is that you are being conservative and with your energy pool, because it's going to be a lot of energy will be required for a lot of decision making. A lot of momentum is going to be acquired next year in 2022 for tigers. Rabbits, use your great wisdom. Okay, purify and clarify last year experience. All you need to say, I learned so much. So don't be critical, don't be going back judgmental or negative at all. Whatever the experience was, just to mention, what have you learned? If you are born in a year of a dragon or hour of dragon, it is continuous of the great momentum, especially the following month. But when we think about overall how to emerge yourself during the year of ox, is make yourself available and participate. That's the rule number one for dragons. Always show your initiative. Even you are a great leader, you need to put like hands on and be supportive, like participating in your activities. Those who are born on a year of a snake or hour of snake is a great success. I think out of all the signs, this is really the year to shine. And if we can stay grounded and invisible, and what I mean is like not driving too much attention to your activities, but almost like fulfilling your focus and just continue what you're doing. Adding more hours and time towards your self-cultivation, like spirituality, meditation, etc., is a really, really supportive element, especially for snakes this year. Horses, if you're born in a year of a horse or hour of the horse, this is the year to, first of all, I congratulate that you have overcome and survived last year. And this particular year, it is still kind of be conservative with your energy. It's almost like slowing down and showing off yourself just in its momentum of stillness. So it's like having a lunch, grazing on the field, and let the year to see, let the ox to see, wow, you can be a great partner. You're a strong partner and you're very, very capable. But truly your power to like in action should be shown in 2022. If you are born in a year of a sheep or hour of the sheep or goat, this is the year to be very, very careful in the sense of how much you commit to, and can you really commit to and carry out the weight, the heavy weight that usually ox can do. So monkeys. So this is the year to finalize and finish things as much as you can, because the year of a tiger, that's when we want to be a little bit more invisible and kind of going with the momentum. Like one of the jokes I was reading just recently is like, we as the monkeys don't want to become a lunch for the tigers, right? So very important not to be depleted before 2022. Roosters is a great year. Finally, in the last 2-3 year cycle of time, you finally are being heard. And this is the year for guiding the ox. So in many ways, you can speak up, write a book, be the leader, let the people know your thoughts, because those are definitely thorough and has plenty of data and information backed up by the last year of a rat. So as a dog, if you're born in a year of a dog or an hour dog, this is the year to cultivate your trust, be trustworthy, and this is the wonderful opportunity for those who are have an ox friend, or if you're in a partnership with the oxes should be listening to the dog's inner kind of gut feeling. You as a dog characteristics always have a better sense about who is like a kind of a who is good, who is bad, what decision is good or bad, because you have more experience. This is where ox is a little bit more dull, and having an advisor if you can be an advisor as a dog, it's really, really good year for you as well, especially towards the fall. And for pigs, those who are born in a year or a month of the hour of the pig, this is a time to stay conventional. That is a great way to be safe. Remind everyone how it feels to work hard and play hard. So add joy, fun, ease in our daily life. So today's subject, I was going to talk about how we correlate in Feng Shui, how we talk about external environment and internal environment. And many of you know, those who are my clients, I always pay attention or emphasize, what do we use when you enter your home, and what it means to have the main entrance, and are we using the main entrance to its full potential? So I would love if somebody could comment or tell me, how many of you have entry from the garage or from the main door, and have a main door and have a garage? And those who have consulted in the past, have you made adjustments and choose to use main door or the garage, or vice versa? And have you noticed any difference? Anyone? Lucy or Irene or Michelle or Rianne? Danita, anyone? I mean, it's commonly people. Yes, go ahead.
So, hi. So one thing you said about our house was that our money came through our garage, and to put some flowers on both sides of the garage to attract energy and attention. And so we made sure we bought some pretty big vases compared to the house because we have a 3-level house. And so we bought a vase and it was green, which was good, but it was really small and the proportions were wrong. And so, and then for my front door, the front door is at the side of the house. And so I just put in these big orange ceramic pot holders, and
Yep.
just to attract your eye to where you're supposed to enter.
So does it make it, so when I was visiting last month, I think you did very well by adding especially when the garage, typically garage mouth is really opening, is really large. And you want to always make sure that you do have a remote control, that it opens up, quickly and closes very smoothly as well. So that's like technicality, that's a practicality by its nature. But I think in your case, we chose a fairly large size pots on each side, and I think they'll look absolutely fantastic because the proportion right now is really nice because also the greenery kind of expands and attracts, and it's really like almost indents, like when we smile, we have dimples right in our cheeks. So the main door for anyone, when we enter the main door, it's almost like putting food through our mouths, not through our ears, right? So kind of a very simple, suggestion and reminder. Even though you are coming through your garage, at least several times a week, please use your main door. Enter and exit, or exit and enter through your main door. Have the experience that you are a guest in your house and you bring that lovely chi. The areas that, especially if your door faces west this year, that's the abundance, that's the good fortune, that's the, all the kind of good chi, like it expanded chi could enter, and I had almost like bring that fresh, abundant breath of, opportunities through your main door. I have quite a few clients in the last 2 months, and one of the very kind of what was interesting. A few of them were starting, well, oh, I know Feng Shui, and they were concerned about their missing corners. Just remember, in classical Feng Shui, we don't really have, there's no such thing as a missing corner. It's almost like I was saying, if I don't have a body between my jaw and my shoulder, there's open space. That sounds like a missing corner? Not necessarily. It's how you embody the whole, your territory, how you bring it all together, that what matters the most. The west side, especially, I want to kind of focus on west side because especially this 2021, when fortunate, lucky stars and abundance from that direction, but you can also consider main door in general. You want to have nothing broken, nice and clean, well lit. Especially in the West, you could have the moving water, like adding maybe like a sound of water to create the tinkling, like almost like a raindrops that is cultivating, purifying the energy that enters to it. The opportunities that we create as we enter is the idea is to welcome the chi, purify the energy, then kind of settle. So you have a good transition. And that's what we talk about main tang. That's how the area before you kind of open the door. When you open the door and enter in, look for what is a focal point. What is the first thing you see when you open the door? Okay, as soon as you identify the focal point. For the families, I always want to know who lives in the house. So if you have a greeting or meeting and you can allow me to, let's say, if there's a family picture or a nice quote or the plants, something that you can admire or something that you can say, oh, that's so beautiful, or something that's really greets and meets. you at the entry. It's one of the suggestions. The other aspect, a lot of people or some of the clients always says, well, what if you see the staircase? What if you are on a like unfortunate situation like a staircase? Again, there's the art to redirect your focal point. The redirecting focal point, I have managed successfully doing by creating the accent walls. Sometimes I have one of the clients who as we entered in a distance, we'll see the dining room. So coloring the dining room, the background wall in a kind of more brighter or contrast color, that allowed it to kind of steer away from staircase to going upstairs and creating, coming into like almost, wow, what's there? So you subconsciously triggering your mind, you're not only stopping your body movement at the entryway, but you also kind of cultivating like, where's your interest? So if you do have situations when, let's say staircase is very close proximity, just think about what will be a nice accent or focal point to be created right at the main door. So what I was going to say so commonly we have, when we compare the Western school of thought and classical feng shui of thought, just a quick reminder, the Western school, it's kind of intuitively based, where classical feng shui, all the tools, when we take compass reading, when we do the Bajai Mingwa and calculating your personal directions, etc., it's all becomes, we're using tools and real data, and we're using intellectual capacity to interpret that. So the Western school also offers like spiritual religious kind of, we'll call cures, where with classical feng shui, we work with land. Okay, so it's more scientific, systematic, directional approach. Western school, in its examples, primarily focuses on an internal space only. And those who worked with me, I'm just reminding, we always work with the outside first. It was macrocosm. We're looking at the land, we're looking at the hills, we're looking at the rivers, the streets, the cul-de-sac, all the external environment that is in your close proximity to your home. And then we integrating into your internal environment. And I know if Danita is there, at least for the future planning and remodel, we always also see how can we connect to the external environment, especially if the features are very, very favorable. In Western school, we use symbols and objects. Well, in classical feng shui that I practice, we don't really use too much of the product-based items. So again, it's more based on the flow. Some of you may ask, well, how do we create the flow? Just one very simple thing. Anything moves from the doors to windows, sometimes from doors to windows and mirrors, sometimes from the one door to the other door, room to room. And what contains the chi, when we create containment, is like when can I hug where can I create the containment? For example, that will be around the dining table. That could be while you're sitting at the fire, near the fireplace. And that's where containment is created, where you can focus. It can be centralized into the center or could be distracted. Most of the times that I noticed when I've been creating, just recently, again, it was one of the examples, houses went on the market. And of course, something that we trying to sell in a living space, we want to show like it's like it looks good on the pictures. And in many cases, something that's good on the pictures is particularly not necessarily good enough to contain the energy and sit and cultivate your communication. So if you are in a search of, let's say, new home, then please revisit what do you like, try to sit in every single area in a seating in every single place, because what you see, let's say if you see directly the main door, then you need that for somebody to sit in that position still will be way harder than in a contained position when you are exposed to the fireplace or the person across from you. So there's a lot of those like little tweaks that we can do through the in establishing the internal layout. On my slides, I was going to share, particularly today, I was sharing one of the business case studies that I had, and that was about Centon, one of the business companies. They consulted with me 2 years ago, and they primarily challenged, they could not figure out why there was, kind of feeling of stagnation. And in their case, the stagnation was directly correlated to the center of their business. What happened, the overall layout was almost like so cramped, like kind of, stuck within the center. And as you know, in Feng Shui, we can also use your correlative thinking. And when you use the correlative thinking, that was almost like have stagnation in your spleen, on your stomach. So when there's no movement in a center, that becomes very challenging, especially when you start feeling heavy and kind of energy kind of feels like stuck. One of the easiest ways is to disperse the energy, or kind of making the move is like opening and having a crosswind. That's number one. Also, always revisit from the center of your home what type of rooms, what type of places you have. Typically, it could be connecting hallways. If you have connecting hallways, and then you maybe have line of books, or closets, like linen closets, for example. So at least twice a year, it's great to visit those house center and almost refine or declutter as much as you can. The same thing, and that's like, it's pretty much 99% of the time, organizing and decluttering your garage. Super important, especially if you are using your garage as a main door, like 5 days out of 7, if you're using your garage, please revisit. Don't hold on to anything that is, oh, you need to get to it, or you're going to be donating, or you're going to be, if you sit on something that you haven't touched for more than 12 months, almost like 2 years, you do not need it. It's heavy. It takes you a lifetime. Just think about how many times you pass by that certain item and it reminded you, oh, I need to do this. Only those couple seconds you multiply by 365 per year. How many minutes, how many hours you actually losing by paying attention to something that you haven't done. Okay, so this, I kind of emphasizing this specifically in the springtime, because we are approaching as like a spring cleaning, and a lot of people like right now wiggling, they're getting the energy boosted, they're moving around, it opens up, the days are longer. So I want you to kind of clear up the spaces that are most important, and creates the vitality and creates the energy point, and like entering, existing, how you're transitioning from the macrocosm into microcosm, from the outside in, inside out. So that becomes very, very, very important. Oh gosh, I've been like, we're talking a little too fast, maybe. Any questions, any comments we might have? This is what I really wanted to address today, was more kind of revisiting. Anything have you noticed maybe from the adjustments what we have done in the past, maybe for the clients who have not worked with me, there have a few leads here visiting, maybe some questions. Anyone? No? Awfully quiet. Okay. Well, then I can maybe share some exciting news. But this particular month, on the April 30th, I am going to be presenting about Feng Shui and from the form school perspective. And that's going to be done on behalf of the International Feng Shui Association of the US chapter. The main Classical Feng Shui Association is established a couple of years ago. It's run by Feng Shui by Jen in Arizona. He's one of my colleagues who also practice classical Feng Shui. So I got selected, and I feel honored, and I'm very happy that I will have a chance to teach the class based on the experience, based on a practical experience and an application of the form school Feng Shui. So while I was preparing for this presentation, I was still preparing, and I also writing the article. It's going to be published at the International Feng Shui magazine, the same organization, later this, I think later this spring or summer. But one thing I noticed, and my article, the primarily name is concerned about the Feng Shui form by form is the king. Those who worked with me and those who may be considered working in the future, what I realized through writing this article and preparing, no matter at what point we take the compass reading or applying the flying stars, the flying star Feng Shui or compass Feng Shui is not optimized until the moment we have examined and did the walkthrough based on form. And what I mean by form, this is how we observe your external environment. Where is your home situated? Where is it within the neighborhood? What streets and how you approach? You know, what size of houses and what is the physical environment in a close proximity? Those elements are critical to that establish and create the atmosphere. That's what's the quality of your Feng Shui potential could be in your home. Then form school is also concerned about how the interior actually flow. And flow we established by, again, I was kind of repeating myself, but energy flows from door to door, from door to window, and then it contains itself around the table or in a seating arrangement that is kind of creates a kind of community, or redirecting the energy, sometimes with the accent wall, a focal point, with the large pieces of art, where you can almost like feeling like you want to stop and admire. So would be kind of good exercise for each of you to examine, you know, when you place, let's say, some kind of very, very special images, let's say family photos, those are really in a primary upload living room or in a hallway. If you have in both areas, that's fine. But if your family pictures are only in a hallway, that's not good enough. Because as you know, hallways are usually very fast moving energy. You don't really stop in a tight places, and they're not particularly well lit either. And how much really energy can you cultivate by looking at your kids' pictures or moments of it with your, you know, kind of fun events, or your parents or grandparents, when you are in the, you know, in a transitional areas? It's always healthier to dedicate, you know, a family, like a collage or family wall somewhere in a family room or living space as a greeting meeting spot. And as, again, speaking from the experience, I always love to know especially when I come for the first time to the client's home, is, you know, who lives there? Whose home is this house's stage, or this is house's living? And one of the most important parts, we always say, house is not a museum. House is for living and experiencing. It's okay when it's not perfect, because perfect kills good enough. So hopefully these few kind of, you know, a few tips for today's Feng Shui Feng Shui walkthrough will allow you to also readjust something that we have discussed through the consultations in the past, or hopefully this information also could encourage you to visit and sign up for a future Feng Shui Connect meeting. So we have a couple minutes. We have 12 minutes. Are there any questions, any comments, any exciting news that would you like to share? Anyone can raise your hand or.
What can you do about the stairway problems, you know, when you enter into the house?
Are you talking about specifically your house?
Yeah, going up the
Are you
stairs.
talking about from the outside in, or when you're already inside the house?
From the outside in, because I usually go through the garage.
Yeah, but I think Irene, in your case specifically, if I may share with the group.
That's fine.
Yeah, so your garage is primarily in the same level as your main floor, like your master bedroom, and then your guest, and then connects to the backyard. In your case, I think I would enhance the experience that when you enter through the garage,
Yeah.
that is kind of that you're bringing that experience, like, maximize them as nice as possible. I mean, when you create like built cabinetry and etc., when you only park your car and everything is stored, then I think it's more appropriate.
Okay.
Because your main entrance, since it's also kind of elevates in a half, kind of in between second and first, it's not really neither the ground level nor the second level, right? It's kind of challenging.
Yeah.
Having the stable, you have railing and everything else, I mean, marking it is great. But I think in your case, we talked that now creating the passage to your new gate for visitors, especially those who are challenged for maybe going up the stairs, will be most appropriate, because you're going to be also bringing the chi, especially this year, from the west as well, kind of the north, that's the south, that's how does it come in? West, north, yeah, that's northwest, right? West, northwest, right? So, and primarily the visitors right now, when they entered into backyard and you're entering an entertainment on a deck, and so you're cultivating the overall chi in that level. Nobody's really going to your upstairs level, correct?
It doesn't really
But yeah, but at some point, when you really kind of decide, where are you going to be choosing the ground level or the second level, I think will be recommended to create a main door to create the main door for your ground level from the west.
Okay.
And leaving this like second level entry only from the front. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's already elevated. So
Yeah.
it's just a very unique case in Irene's situation, which the feng shui right now, I would not even kind of cultivate as much.
Yeah.
Because it splits, because as soon as you open the door, you have a very small platform, and then you have directly either going upstairs or going downstairs, correct?
Yeah.
So one of the adjustments, it could be if you close or maybe have an invisible door going downstairs, and that becomes like kind of the receiving wall, then it creates a really nice Ming Tang internally that you receive the guest and then you lead them upstairs.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, that's kind of would be my suggestion.
I would resolve it, huh?
Yeah. But how is it feeling? I mean, how is it after so we had if I may share, so with Irene, we had a larger project where I think the land was neglected for backyard was for quite a while. And so the garden landscape project was implemented last year.
Yeah.
And how does it feel? How it's settled?
It's fine. I need to I need to bring Elliot back, because there's some spots on the lawn that's turned brown and the fence has gone down because of the wind.
Wind. Mhm. Okay, we'll make sure we'll follow up with that and we'll get that all, you know, refined and we'll get it done. I'll make a note to that.
Yes, just.
Yeah, but in your case, really is the more considering to create a separate main door for your ground level.
Yeah.
And then separately the door for like an existing door for going up to the second floor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else? Yes.
Hi. So, Irene, you know what was interesting? I have an apartment next to my home, and the person would always enter it through their French doors. If I rang the doorbell, I'm looking at the doorbell, the person would open up the French doors. Finally, when the person moved out, he had the front door open, and the front door immediately went up the staircase. I was like, oh, that's why he never opened up the front door. He always used the French door right next to it.
Oh, why did he do that again?
So that the energy wouldn't go into the house and immediately go up the stairs instead of mill around the living room. And
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, but remember, so if we go back to the classics or to the old stories, like how I like to share stories.
Yeah.
So from the Chinese perspective, just to think about it, anything that relates to staircases, stairs would go to the yin, to where will be the youngest daughters, where the mothers, the female, will be going upstairs. Like if you have a courtyard houses, okay, front will always be one level, okay, but as soon as you pass the first courtyard, go to the second courtyard, that's going to be 2 level. Then typically girls or daughters would be situated up, especially the old times when there were foot bending, practices, where then they would be placed in the upstairs.
Okay.
They would do all those walking and physically training to get used to the foot bind. I mean, that's one of the, exactly. So, and those areas also, that's where the shutters were, this concept of shutters also was coming, because the girls would be able to peek, right? Closing the shutters, they would not be seen. So, because why you don't want to see, I mean, as a father, as soon as your daughter is
Of age.
available for the arranged marriage, right? That means it also takes a fortune. So sometimes the families are not ready quite yet to give their daughters away, because that has to be also coming with some abundance along the way. And that's like a kind of correlative thinking, is like, well, releasing letting go some, not only your daughter, but also some part of your fortune. And if you can hold on to for a couple of years or so, that's definitely is beneficial to the family, to the host. So this old way of thinking, what it means when we expose the how we correlate the staircase going up, it's typically we exposing to go to our intimate space, to yin, to more that's feminine, to more hiding spot. It's almost like instantly opening up to your bedrooms. So that's not welcome. That's not really a good practice. Redirecting your viewpoint, let's say having a music, having the beautiful art piece on opposite direction, redirecting your viewpoint. Like, I'm opening the door, even I see the staircase. If you don't make this like staircase very flashy, right? But you accenting something in the opposite wall, opposite room, and creating a pattern that is, kind of more attractive with the something that is like almost like a drip, like as a focal, as I said, as a focal point, it's much easier. You don't need to be superstitious. You can still improve the feng shui by redirecting the qi.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
and I think, Irina, just a one reminder again, in your situation, especially if you would close the second floor, the railing, that, create a pony wall that is not see-through, you will contain the qi on your upper level.
Okay.
Because right now, when you sit upstairs, you can everything, you can see everything, and everything is from this, you can, so it's dispersed, it's kind of, the chi is dispersing. So it's like there's no containment, there's no kind of security in the space. So those areas can be very simply adjusted. Yeah, go ahead. Again?
Could you repeat the great days and the not great days? Okay, so may I repeat it?
Yeah, you may.
Okay, so avoid paying bills and signing contracts on April 8th, April 20th, May 2nd, May 15th, May 27th, and take it easy. The good days are April 9th, the 17th, the 22nd and 23rd, the 29th, May 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, May 28th, and 31st. Did I get it all?
Yeah, and then as long, there's also, those are like kind of, super good days, like you can't go wrong at all. And the remaining days are good enough as well. But if you avoid the days that I've really extracted, it was much easier. I think from the now on, it's much easier for me to, you can plan in advance, those kind of not, the days, it's almost like good for oracle readings, for your meditation, for like something that is as more like a routine without like pushing, even taking a little like taking a little time off, it's recommended. So be mindful about it. It's almost like there's something natural flow in a nature when we don't plow, we don't really water, we really take it easy. And hopefully that's going to be super, super beneficial. And especially for those who are born in a year or hour of the goat or sheep. That's very, very important. And also for those who are born in a year or hour of horse, because that's kind of the chi or energy pool is still challenging. I still want to recommend to be cultivators, be more thinking like being more conservative with your energy power, right? Because the tiger year, it's going to come, it's going to take time for us to not to overdo it. We have to overcome the June, July. That's the month of the horse and month of the goat. Okay, which again, mindfully plan your summers. I'm going to probably take the July off completely, because next year for me is the year of a tiger. I'm personally going to be, in a dimetrics with a tiger. I don't want to step on tiger's tail. and so I'm planning this mindful. I'm going to be focusing on a lot of things that are internally, but everything that's externally, that because I'm born in a year of a monkey, so that will allow me to, everything like technical parts should be all reset by May, because I'm working right now very hard to implement the automations, improving the website, responses to clients. All this going right now in a testing mode. And I believe that by end of April, mid-May, everything should be working fairly smoothly, simplifying. So if you are in the position as well, that this is the year, remember, year of the ox, we're establishing the patterns that's gonna be working for us, not just for this upcoming year, but for the next decade. But we want to establish something as a base, as a optimum. Okay. Couple more minutes. Any more comments, questions?
Sorry.
Oh, so there's somebody else. So yeah, we'll send the slides. I'm gonna take the same way you had a note about the call. I'll ask to add the PDF file for this for my presentation that I put together. I will add it to your as a PDF document that's going to go out tomorrow. Okay, so I'll try to make it smaller, then you can revisit. And if you have any questions, maybe I was going to ask you, what will be the subject that you might be interested or have any, really, really interested in a sense, like, what can I address? You know, what will be something that you want to know more or understand more? You know, I'm open to address that.
Anita, can you hear me?
Say again, Danita?
Can I just ask you, do we all?
I could not hear you. Say again?
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. What, we all have to find out the year of the tiger, not stepping on the tiger's toes?
I can't hear.
Say again.
Do we all have to worry about the year of the tiger, not stepping on the tiger's toes?
No, only if you are a monkey, like me. Or if you get exhausted and you lose your, you know how the tiger, usually tigers eats up the, you know, kind of, it's like if somebody is a male tiger, then it's and depleted, then there's a really not much chance to survive. But I think you're more like a rabbit than a tiger, aren't you?
Yes, I'm a rabbit.
Okay, well, then you are good to go. You actually are in a very good position this year. So take advantage of this year, because this is the year where you can connect to the chi of the ox, which is super, super supportive. And it almost carries you on its back. If you have your teamwork for everybody this year, connections and teamwork, connecting to your friends, family deeper, because is super, super important. Yes.
I have a question. You're saying July next year, 2022, right? Not, or this year?
July this year. June, July. So something to consider. Take it easy. Plan your holiday. Plan your downtime during the month of the horse and a month of the goat. And that's a June, July. Okay, I'm gonna probably address more stronger next month, because it's gonna kind of, you know, we want to plan in advance. And it's then when you have like little like a down kind of downtime, especially in July, then you could be in a better position to receive the like high paced or higher kind of dynamic that I'm expecting to take place at the end of August, September. It's going to be kind of new peak. It's just going to be, it's like a dog, the partnership, you know, you're going to be talking and sharing and figuring out, because what happens is we are getting ready for the tiger year. And the tiger year, when it pivots, it should bring way more energy, like way more kind of more, I would say, spice, you know, it's going to be leapings, like, you know, because we've been kind of a little bit of like more conservative. We are going with the notion of the year of the ox, which is more, you know, conscientious, more kind of conservative, stabilizing, you know, slowing down, you know, kind of like putting in the right order, getting your team ready, right? So next year you will be impatient to do that. You know, will be important to kind of say, you know, that's it. I'm good to go. I'm either, you know, black or white. I'm leaping. I'm moving forward. So very different dynamic next year. Everything will be, yeah. It's kind of cutting, you know, going into a little bit on the more extreme but powerful extreme, and especially if you by heart trusting your gut feeling, then the next year again gives like optimizes your opportunities. So
Okay.
what else? I highly recommend those who are still in the Bay Area. For last week, I was 3 days in a row. I went to Hakone Gardens. The cherry blossoms are amazing. Please, please, please go and experience the beauty. It's very safe. It's outdoors. It's very simple. It's already just set up as a path. And you can also sign up online for night viewing of the cherry blossoms. If you do look at my Instagram, I took some pictures. I surprised my my husband, he was his birthday at the end of the birthday. We went by just before 9 p.m. In the evening. We went to see the cherry blossoms at night. And in 20 years, been living in the Bay Area, that was my first time, and it was amazing.
Where did you say this was?
Hakone Gardens. So you can go online and hakone.com, Hakone Gardens. And then there's under the events, you can sign up, and I think the admission is only $15. It's, or if you decide, I'm a member already for the last 18 years now. I'm being a family member on a yearly basis, and also a docent at the gardens. So it's just a really, really nice way. I mean, I know we don't have that many opportunities to explore in the Bay Area still. So this is one of the ways to kind of add some beauty to your spirit and kind of.
What city is it in?
Say again?
What city?
Saratoga.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'd like to know how I could get a copy of my original reading that you had given me in the beginning. Was that online that I can get it, or?
Why don't we set up the call? Did we record it?
I don't have a recording of it. No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I do?
Yeah, it's on your voice memo. I was at your house and we airdropped it. You were using for the first time. Voice memo.
Yeah,
All
it's
my recordings typically are on voice memo, and then I shared the file, and then you just listen back to it.
so it's I can go into voicemail.
Yeah, so when you look at your iPhone
Yeah.
and you open the application called voice memo.
Voice memo. Okay.
Yeah, and that should be with the date. And if not, then why don't you text me in personally, and then we will take care of that.
Yeah. And you're still doing for this year more
Mhm.
readings?
Yep. So every year, I think there's a few people who have not updated, but Michelle has, and
Mhm.
and then Nguyen are gonna be also, and yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll be ready for that.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
good.
I hope you enjoyed the time. Thank you for coming and.
Thank you for the time. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no, I love it. And especially if you know anyone who might benefit or never experience, sign up once on my website under the Feng Shui Connect. And also will be kind of exciting presentation, will be on the April 30th this month and it's also on my website.
Okay.
All
So
right.
That's your next connect? No, that's.
So no, that's my special presentation based on the International Feng Shui Association.
Mhm.
And my next presentation, my personal presentation, will be on
fifth.
May 5th. Oh, Cinco de Mayo.
Got it.
All right.
Okay,
So
thank
I
you. Lita.
assume there's no more questions. Then I'm gonna say good night.
Yes.
And thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Irene. Thank you. Thank you, Rita and Lucy. And whoever is there, thanks for assisting. And then I will see you guys on a 5th or on a 30th before that.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good? All right.
Okay.
Hi, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.